Guys, usually I try a little drawing warm up, but today we're really going to need every moment, and we're going to need our hands working in good condition. I don't know about you. Some mornings I'm on, some mornings I'm not so on. But those things they have us do in the doctor's office? Yeah, we're going to do those for practice and warm up. So we're just going to actually open and close our hands. Just kind of, we're going to need our hands today. So we just want to get them going faster, shorter, really stretch them. That does feel good for me. I hope it feels good for you. Then, when they want you to flip flop your hands, yeah. And they want you to do it fast and smooth. So, I practice this. The UPDRS and me, I'm going to win as long as I can. So that always feels good too. And piano fingers, right? Yeah, I played piano. I haven't tried lately, but a week ago I bought a ukulele. So I'm going to warm up my fingers with the ukulele someday, I hope. Okay. And then finger stretches, you can use your whole hand and just never stretch past pain. Hopefully you're not even stretching to pain. But just to get a nice smooth stretch, then you can take one finger at a time. Don't overstretch the one finger at a time. I don't want anybody hurting themselves. Get your thumb, get the other fingers. This is so important for me. I don't know about you, but my hands want to do this a lot. And I like that. So I keep telling my hands, oh no, we're gonna be good. We're gonna open up. And then just whatever makes you feel good to kind of get those hands ready. That's the short, sweet warm-up we're gonna do. And I do recommend doing that daily, keep those hands behaving. Let me show you before I switch to camera view. If you were here a couple months ago, we did the envelope book. Now it can be called an envelope book, but it's also part accordion. So I call it a hybrid, if you will. But this is an envelope book, and you'll see it on the camera as well. But the idea is that when you open it, then each tag fits in these little pockets. Now these are pre-made tags with some little ribbons I added. I'm going to show you that again close up as the need be in a moment. But let me show you the envelope book with signature. What is a signature? A signature is a group of pages that they assemble signature by signature by signature to make a bigger book, because you can't just fold 100 pages like this and the ends are not smooth, right? So here is an envelope book, but the signature, as you can see, are these pages we're going to put in here. When we get to the camera view, you'll see more. Let me actually go ahead and switch to camera view. And if if it hasn't stayed on, we'll go back and make it behave. But it stayed. I love that. That's like a miracle. Okay. Angelina, that's a first. You must be good luck for me.
Yay.
So here, close up is that envelope book. And whoops, backwards. So sorry. Here you can see that each tag I have learned from yesterday. I left the back blank. Sometimes you can write on both sides if you so choose. The second one says, so it's got learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow, never give up. And this is a little bit of a map. So I thought, yeah, we all need a map for life. And I think never give up is a good key. And then the one with signature simply has, now this one I did both sides. So now the everyday joy of artful lettering, there's side number one, in case the person opening doesn't know. Mini journal, little arrow pointing in the right direction. Okay, so seek joy, choose joy. Can you tell I like joy? Be joyful from the inside out. And there's just, a little fun flower, a little sketch, be true. And then embrace the joy that's calling you. And authentic, grateful, brave, ready, set, go. And then it says your mini journal is a turn away. And so here is what I did with the signature. This is your mini journal, write, doodle, sketch, plan, create your own lettering style, enjoy. And then they have these pages. So they could sketch on that if they so choose. Do you like my finger? Yeah, that was me versus a GMC truck tailgate, one round of that. So that's where we're going today. So we're going to get our papers ready. And by the way, if you don't want to really make the envelope book, maybe you're taking notes or maybe you're just watching, feel free to be coloring, sketching, anything you want to do while we're working if this is not your thing. So personally, I like 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. 9 by 12 is hard to get any other way. If you're using paper out of a printer, it's 8.5 by 11, and I can help you with that. You can just make a 2 by 2 inch book. This is going to be a 3 by 3 inch book. So I'm going to use my little handy dandy paper cutter. If you don't have a paper cutter, then watch this. No paper cutter, no problem. just measure 9 inches because it's already 12 by 12. So measure 9 inches. In the middle, measure 9 inches. At the bottom, 9 inches. Draw your line and then cut it with scissors. All right, you can do that. I'm using the paper cutter, so that's maybe cheating. But all I have to do is line this up. And look at that, 9 by 12. We'll fold it shortly, but that's just the only cut you need to make on the 9 by 12. If you are using regular 8.5 by 11, the ratio of these is 3 to 4. So for a 2 by 2, you're going to cut your paper 6 by 8. 6 by 8, I believe. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Now tags, maybe you bought some white tags or have them. Maybe you have a package of pre-printed tags that you're just decorating. I don't know. But we're going to talk about, just because we're going to say we're working from scratch, how to just make our own and the varieties that we can do. So let me get my paper cutter back. Again, you can be using ruler, pencil, etc. But I know I want my tags to be about, if my book is 3 by 3, I just need my tags to be a little bit narrower, and I like 2.5 or 2 5/8. And I like them to be 4 inches tall. Sometimes 3.5 inches tall looks better. It just kind of depends on what I want at the moment. But this I've already pre-cut to 4, a smidge over 4. So I'm now going to cut them to 2 5/8, or could go in between. I'm just going to cut 1, but you keep cutting till you have 4, because I'm going to show you while you're cutting some of the variations. Actually, let me go ahead and cut 2 or 3 so I can show you the variations. Now I use a thicker paper if it's available for the tags, because I want them to be sturdy enough. If I just use regular paper, you can see that it's not quite as sturdy, and that's okay too. Sometimes I glue it together to have a thicker. Okay, so what can we do with these plain tags? Well, option number 1 is to use your scissors and your hole punch. And I kind of eyeball it. You can measure. If you're a measuring person, that's wonderful. I'm going to give myself a hole punch because I do want ribbon. Now, watch this. If you don't want to be punching holes and messing with ribbon, you can also just take a little piece of ribbon. And I like these small staples. They're a little smaller than usual. And I just do an X and staple it on. That's just handy dandy quick. And I don't think it looks too bad. Plus you can get colored staples if you so choose. And so there you see I've cut the 2 corners, stapled on the ribbon. That is extremely quick and lovely. Simple to do. And by the way, if you think you're giving this to someone that might look at it more than once or twice, these low hole reinforcements are good for the top bowl. Don't forget about those. But let's say for now I want to do a rounded corner. Now, again, I've got a tool for that. If you don't have a tool, you can draw a rounded corner and cut it out. But you can see this one is lovely. It's just a little hole corner punch. Not too expensive, you know, at the store, Amazon, whatever works for you. So then I get those fun, nice smooth corners. Okay, so I've got smooth corners. I've got rounded cut, etc. And another thing you can do that's fun, I think, okay, I'm going to measure this slightly. So I'm going to say this is the middle and go right about there. So here, what I'm going to do is actually decorate the bottom. I'm going to go from this corner to there, this corner to there. I'll probably go ahead and cut off those corners. Oh, and if you want those to match, excuse me for bumping that, I'm sorry. All you have to do is then turn it over and cut from that side. That way you'll have them match. All sorts of little tricks. And then again, I could staple a ribbon, or I could find my center and hole punch. And FYI, if you want this neat side of the ribbon on the front, if you're having a front and a back, always insert your ribbon from the front. This is what I consider the not so neat side, and I consider that the back. So if I was doing this with this ribbon, and This is, I'm calling it the front. Maybe that's where I've written my decoration. I just start here, put this through. Like I said, today my hands aren't being the friendliest. And of course, this is a thinner ribbon, but that's much easier. But you can see then I get the neat side. And really, it's kind of like a men's tie upside down. That's correct. Yeah, fun. So we're going to need 4 tags. And again, you can write on one side or both sides. So you can have 4 messages or 8 messages, whether you buy prepaid, pre-printed, etc. So that's paper tags. And then the signature. The signature, we need a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. I'm going to take this one. Now, accordion books have what we call peaks and valleys. So if I said it like this, you can tell you Colorado people get this, Washington, people that have mountains. Where I live in Texas is pretty flat. But there's my peak, there's my valley, right? And if this is the front of the book, pocket 1, pocket 2, pocket 3, pocket 4, and of course, upside down, you can tell why they call it envelope books. That looks like your envelope that you would seal. So it's not the front that I'm going to put the signature, it's the back. And so it's going to go right in here. On this one, you can see clearly that I changed where my bobbin was white, so it wouldn't show too much if you're sewing. But I didn't mind at all if this showed, and so I used a color, okay? We are actually going to use needle and thread. Didn't know that people would or would not have sewing machines. And so we're going to put our signature right in there. So the easiest way is to actually fold this paper in half. Okay, and you're going to cut that, whether it's with scissors or your paper cutter. I think I'll use my paper cutter just because I'm used to it. And if you haven't been on YouTube lately, trust me, you can find envelope books of all varieties. You can find so much. That's actually, I just learned from a lot of other wonderful people on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So from this sheet, well, I didn't cut it quite in half to that. That's okay. Lay this down. And what I want is to make sure that I'm not wider and I'm not. So see, there's the edge. There's the edge. I think you can see that. So that's good. Now, what about height? Again, I'm going to just use my pencil. You can use a ruler if you want to, but I'm just going to mark right there. And then this is going to be my sample, or my pattern. So now that I know this will fit, I'm going to cut my other pieces to the same size. I usually just cut up this whole sheet, and that usually gives me 6 or 8, I think 6 of these little sheets. So you are cutting yours. I'll cut mine. I'm marking with pencil, it's easier. Now, some people like that ragged edge, like some of the antique books. So it is fun also to tear these. And if you want to tear, feel free. And I don't know if you know this, they actually make, let me get this out. This is cheating perhaps, but if you want a nice or a cool looking edge, they actually make rulers that are not for measurement. Although, yeah, but they are to give you a cool edge. So I can show you on this. Let me just tear this one just for fun. So you have a rougher edge and a finer edge. So I'm going to go with the finer edge. And when you tear, you get that cool edge. They also make what they call decal scissors. Mine died, or I'd show you, but they're not good anymore. I guess I used them too much. So I'm just going to cut 3 of these for our sample, but you should be able to get 6 out of that paper, and you can use 8 successfully. I've never used more than 8, but hey, you could try it for us. Now, if you've never bought one of these paper cutters and you're thinking, well, that's kind of nifty. I like these paper crafts. This joy of creativity is kind of fun. I do like this paper cutter. It's not like I'm a going to recommend or say you have to get this one. That's not my place at all. But I've used several over the years. And what I like about this one, and I doubt you can, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can. Let me get my pencil. Right in the middle of the cut slot is a wire. Listen. Can you hear that? It sounds like a bad ribbon. I mean, a bad string on a violin. That ribbon helps me, or that little wire helps me always cut straight. I can always tell I am in the right place. So then when you have your papers, all you're going to do is fold them in half. Okay. And that would be a signature. Now, you have more papers. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes while I talk. When I'm making mine today, I went ahead, and I have not tried this before, so I wanted to try this. I'm going to use black paper. And then I'm doing everything black and white today for the one I'm making for someone. And again, envelope book, you can see when these are folded in just a moment. That's where they get that name. Accordion book from this. And then signature is just what they call these page inserts. Yeah, you can really see them in antique books. They're so cool. So we'll get ready for that. So you keep working on your paper. Hopefully you have your 9x12 cut, but let me cut another one. If you're making a 2x2 inch book, just so I might help those people as well. So if I go 6. And I don't have to use a pencil mark on this. There's actually an extension on the cutter. And so I can get my measurements up here. It becomes a little awkward with my phone camera. That's why I'm not doing that. Oh, and if you have not yet bought a metal ruler and you actually do very much of this, well, I highly recommend a metal ruler. Let me see. So this would be a small book. Well, let's say 2x2 inch book, and this will be a 3x3 inch book. Okay, we're doing great. We're actually a little bit ahead of what I thought we would be. Now, chat or talk if you need to come off mute. What do we have that might help anybody? Let me look at this. Ooh, Austin, Texas. That's right, close to me. I'm in Abilene. I say close. This is Texas. What can I say? It's like 4.5 hours away. All right. Well, it looks like with the chat, we're doing good. So at this point, we're actually, before we get to work, we're going to look at our joy break jar because we really are about joy, and I do love creative joy, but let's see what this joy is. Oh, let's see. Well, this one's kind of obvious. Draw a quick sketch. Well, we're going to kind of be doing that with our tags when we write and sketch. I did accidentally get 2. They were put together. We don't like that. It's a twofer. Ooh, write a haiku. Now that may not appeal to you. It may. I've got a whole jar full of stuff. You can make your own joy break jar. Put in things you like to do, and during the day, at least once a day, take a joy break. Quick sketch haiku. Let's talk about haiku. Anybody here haiku? I love haiku. Here we go. We're going to use this piece of paper. If you don't know. Okay, so we're going with the joy of haiku. How's that? 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. That is a haiku. There may be more official somethings to it that I'm not aware of, but that's how simple I keep it. Let's see. I'm looking at the window. I don't know what you're looking at. On my windowsill, I have sing for joy, choose joy, and arms outstretched in joy. I have a lot of joy in my room, joy reminders. I need joy reminders. And so I think instead of writing about joy per se, I'm going to look out the window, and luckily here I do see sunshine. I see trees. One tree is my neighbor's tree, and it's not my favorite tree because he drops all of his oak leaves in the fall into my pool. Why did you plant that tree there? But it's okay. It's the joy of a tree, right? I see a roof. I don't know about a roof. I see a dormer. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's probably already 90 or 100 here. All right, so haiku, 5 syllables. Sometimes I do this. Okay, so it's not words, it's syllables. I'm going to go with lovely sun to sea. And these don't have to rhyme with anything. They mean be continuing a thought or a sentence. Lovely sun to sea. Green oak leaves. Ooh, bend with the wind. It is a very windy day. Ooh, I like that. Lovely sun to see. Green oak leaves bend with the wind. Thoughts of joy within. There's a haiku. I like it. I shouldn't say that. You may not like it. I like it. It's okay. Now, maybe you want to do a quick sketch. Let's look at one more. What's one more? We'll just glance. Oh, this is a big one. No, it's not a big one. It's just long. Color in a coloring book. So some of you may be doing that. So you can put things in your joy jar that you like. So there's a little joy break for our moments together. I don't know what you're seeing. Maybe you'll type in your chat, your haiku, or maybe we'll have time at the end. We can have you read a haiku. That would be fun. Folding. Are we ready? We're going to be folding. Angelina, I'm ahead. I'm so excited. All right, friends. You may have paper that is white on one side and printed on the other. You may have paper that is printed on both sides. It's all good. Here's what I need you to mark first, okay? I need, oops, that's centimeters. Oh, some of you are centimeters. I need to give you these in centimeters. 9 inches is, oh, it starts down there and goes down there, but that's not helpful. Centimeters. Well, here, I'll do it this way. Measure. 23. Just a smidge under. Maybe I cut it wrong. 23 centimeters is 9. You people that know centimeters are laughing at me. That's okay. I'm just trying. 30. 23 by 30 centimeters. Which meant your tags could be around 6.5-ish, almost centimeters by 9.5-ish. Ish. So how do we fold? Going back to inches. We'll get your centimeters in a moment if you need them. That's helpful. So 9 inches across, correct? Go in thirds. 3, 6. So those of you with centimeters, it's going to be 7.5-ish and 15.25-ish. Just fold in thirds. You'll do great. So I like to just get this marked in 2 or 3 places. Now, if you are maybe visually, these are harder for you to see, maybe you're welcome to just draw those lines instead of folding them without having a visual besides those little marks. And what we're going to do is fold in thirds. Now I need it where I can see that line. So I'm going to actually fold it inside out first. Line up your tops here. Crease well. And then watch this. We're going to crease it really well. You can use your fingernail. You can use a stick. You can use your scissors. And then if you would, turn it the other way. Fold it again. Nice, good crease, both sides. Excellent. Then if you want to, I guess we could have just marked one. If you want to, now go ahead and fold this third. And what you don't want to do is to bring that paper into that fold. You want to keep it a nice, clean fold. It may not be perfect, but that's close enough. Close enough actually works on this. I have to like that. Anybody who's a perfectionist or a recovering perfectionist, listen to my words. Close enough is good enough in this project. I call myself a recovering perfectionist. I can actually be kind of messy now and then. Didn't do very well with messy. So you'll have 2/3. And I am going to erase that because I really don't want that line to show up. So now we have 2 folds, and the next folds are even more fun. All you have to do is still bad side, inside up. Take the short end and take it to the other short end. So those of you who were here a month or 2 ago, 2 months later, you've done this once. Oh, and by the way, did you see that paper just crinkle right there? See that little white bit? That tells me I just went against the grain. Did you know that paper has grain, just like fabric has grain? But in these little books, it's not a big deal. It's okay. Now, when I make journals or other things, it's really important that I go with the grain. It gets to be a big in Denver, and I don't want to ruin it. So now I have a middle seam here, 2 long seams here. I'm going to take my short end again, and I'm going to fold it right to the middle, short to short middle, and crease. And maybe because this paper is just old, that's why it's doing that to me. I started making scrapbooks eons ago, and some of these are old pieces of scrapbook paper. Now, can you see that itty bitty white in that seam? I actually want that. Otherwise, the fold later is going to be too tight. Look, get that out there. There we go. Oh, look, I have my name on it. You can get one of these too. It's just fun. And I like wood, so I want to put wood. A neighbor came over on Sunday afternoon, and I was practicing with her to check my timing. Well, we talked too much, so we took an hour and a half, and I told her I only had an hour. but she was laughing at my tools. She said, "Lorraine, you've got everything." I said, "Well, I don't have everything, but I have what I need." All right. So now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 little squares in your paper folds. What does that got to do with anything? Nothing, but if you folded it right, you should have 12. If you didn't fold it the way I need you to fold it, you have some other number. Okay, 2 cuts are necessary. Right here in the middle, you're going to cut along that folded seam up to the next fold. Turn it over to the long side. It's on the long side, okay, right in the middle. Oh, come on. There we go. And we're going to get right there, cut up to the next seam. So our paper looks like this now. It's wounded. This is where you're going to really see that envelope bit. Of course, I call it beach cabana time, but I like to start with the bottom right corner. You start where you want, but just fold that up. Again, trying not to get completely over any of those pre-folded seams. And there you go. Now this one, for some reason, sometimes has a tendency to want to tear right here. Okay, so I like to keep my finger there and kind of be nice to it as I'm getting it folded. And it is perfectly okay, again, to have that little bit of white, because when I fold again, it just gives some grace. It doesn't let it be thick and bulky. Okay, move to the next one. We're going to do this on both of the long sides. Of course, you can always come in with your bone folder. You might have a bone folder that looks like this one. I don't know that any of us really have a real bone folder. In the old days, they actually did use bone. Old days, listen to me. Now, you may have found a colored paper that is beautiful and you wanted to use it, and you are using it, and it may be a bit thicker. Just to realize, the thicker the paper, a wee bit more attention needs to be paid when you're folding, because it's going to grow more cantankerous the more you fold. In a moment, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I now have 3. What did I mean by beach cabana? Well, come on. Does that not look like it should be on the beach at Jersey? Come on. Of course, you have to maybe be a beach water person to do that. Here we go. No big. It's going to look like an envelope any moment, which is the whole idea. Envelope book. There we go. Okay. So this is what you have. I think you could be with me. Give you just a moment, and then I'll continue. Okay. Remember, this is what we're going for. All we have to do now is fold these. So we are going to take, well, you could do this. Turn it over. And do you want this to be the front? Or do you want this to be the front? I kind of like those bolder yellow streaks right there. I'm going to make that be the front. So once you decide front, it's now going to be on your left side over here. All right, so we're going to fold this top down. Watch these little corners here, these loose ones. Just kind of make sure they stay flat. Put this run across there. Okay, then take the bottom up. Okay, same over here. Oh, got that one almost too close. See how it's wanting to fight me? So we just come back and flatten it. We always win. Okay, good. It's going to end up looking like this. All right. Now, take it vertical. Take this one and you fold it over. You see how it wants to poof? It's okay. Just use your bone folder, use your hand, use your scissors, whatever it is you're using. Just rub on it a little bit. Get that down. Okay, bring this one to it. Pop down. Okay. Open it up. And just accordion away. There we go. Oops, I go this way. Ta-da! There's your envelope book. And we're going to go back and you're going to get to finish and decorate tags. Hang on to that thought. So here is where we're going with the pages. Let me show you what I did. Now, I hope you have something sharp. It might be an awl. It might be the actual needle you're going to sew with. It could be an ice pick. You have an ice pick. You can eyeball the center or you can actually measure. I like to do it first on my pages that are going to be in this signature, because then I know when I go to the envelope book, I'm going to be in the right place. So I stuck this here and I got it through to about there. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then, since I'm going into this one, let me see, the front of this one is this side. So I want the signature to go in this way. But let me let you have a minute to get your signature. You already cut and folded your signature earlier. So now all you need to do is be putting those holes in it. And let me show you. I have these, you can use tapestry needles. These are actually book journal needles because I've done some journaling. I mean, actually making journals. It is so much fun, so rewarding. You can use watercolor paper. You can use mixed media paper. You can use sketching paper. You can use a hybrid of papers. I made one book for a friend that has a mix of regular, mixed media, and watercolor. Now, the thicker the paper, the fewer pieces can be in your signature. But this one is ready, and I believe, let me see what I have. 1, 2, 3, I have 6. Okay. So whether it's your needle, your awl, this is from, there's a Craftsman, of course. And then you can use embroidery thread, you can use regular thread, you can use buttonhole thread, you can use a variety of types of thread. I like to use waxed thread because 2 reasons. One, it sticks to itself and it's really nice when you go to tie it off. It's also a little more controllable. If you want to, you can buy a stick of beeswax or a little jar of beeswax, like at Joann, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever, and just use embroidery thread. I have 4-ply here stuck together, twirled. I can undo these. And I have black, white, and 9 other colors. You can get a lot of colors. You can do what you want. But there's nothing wrong with just using thread. Like when I sewed it with the machine, that's just thread. So how do we know how long our thread needs to be? Well, hopefully you're still, maybe you finished with your punching your holes or you're still. You're going to take this 4 times. 1, 2, and actually on this smaller book, I bet we can do 3 because you can tell I'm kind of overdoing. It'd be 4 tight, 3 and a smidge loose, whatever works for you. If you want to measure, it needs to be at least 9 inches minimum. That would be 3. It's about this long. I'm going to thread the needle. And what I really like is this have huge eyes on these things. I have on my reading glasses, but, and you do not knot it, no knot. Okay. Another thing I like about the wax thread is it sticks to the needle nicely. Okay. So hopefully you have the holes of your signature. Now we're going to line this up. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. Make sure I have it in the center. I'm going to take this. I'm going to poke a hole. Okay, so I got it right there. I'm going to come down here. And I didn't go quite equidistance. I went about half an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch up from the edge of the signature, not from the edge of the book. Punch that hole. Okay. Move up here to the top. I'm gonna punch that hole. Don't stick the needle through your fingers. So now everything has a hole in it. Yay! Okay. So how do we start? Well, here's what we're gonna do. From the inside, we're gonna call this the inside. Okay, we're gonna call that this. We're gonna go from the inside in the middle, please. There we go. And take it till you have about 2 inches. Or maybe, you know, whatever the width of this paper is. Maybe not quite that much. That'd be too much. Then on this side, we're going to go in here. Okay. And it doesn't matter, top, bottom, just go to an end, one into the other. The eye of this needle is a little thick, so it's harder to pull through. There we go. Okay. Get that kind of lined up neatly. Like that. Come back. Now we're going to skip the middle, go all the way to the end. Please. And again, the area, a little snug. Okay. Put my finger right here, pull that nice and snug without tearing. Okay, don't pull so hard. Black on black might not have been the best choice for me to show you. I think you can see that. Now we're going to go back to the center. Oh, splitting your thread. Again, as I mentioned, you might be using embroidery thread, 2, 4, 6 pieces or strands. This is able to be split even with the wax on it, meaning that I might get into the thread and split. See what I mean? Split between the thread. Don't want to do that. So as we're going through this hole, kind of keep this one out of your way. Go into that hole, look again, just so you come up and have not split that thread. And then I take it off the needle. Okay. So what are we going to do to tie this? Well, some people actually take up both ends and tie a knot. Well, a knot's kind of bulky. So here's what I like to do. If I have short and long, which I actually do, and that's not uncommon. And you could put your needle back on if you want to. Just rethread. I'll do it with the long one. Okay. Again, if you don't have wax thread, this isn't going to work quite as well, but it will work. And you're also welcome to knot. So I'm going to go under once, twice. Is thrice a word? Sounds like it ought to be. Leave it is. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up, down, up. And because this is the wax thread, it's actually going to stick to itself. It's not going to unravel. And it lays flat, which I like. But if you are knotting it, it's okay. You can knot once, you can knot twice. Now what I'm doing is just lifting the thread with my needle so I can poke this under. I was too lazy to rethread it. You can do it twice, you can do it 3 times. Just kind of up, back, up, up. I am using these today. So I have one. We'll decorate in a moment as we have time, and we should have some time. I want to show you how to make a closure. 2, 3, 4, signature. And you can use white pens, gel, or paint. You can use any kind of metallic colored pencil or metallic marker or metallic paint. It looks really pretty on the block. So this one's going to be black. Classic. And what about closing this guy? Well, there are various ways to do that. So let me show you one of the easiest. Of course, the easiest might be a rubber band. We don't want to do that. Where did my little button go? Well, we'll use the big button. So I have a can of buttons. And this is a little wooden button. You can get any old kind of button. And this is just elastic that you can buy, Walmart, wherever. And then I don't cut it until I have my book the way I want it. Let me undo this. And here's why. If I make this on an empty book, and then I make my tags double and thick and add extras, they're too fat, then this won't work. So all I do when I'm getting ready is I take the loose end of my elastic here, my loose end of elastic here, and I hold that one hand, put it on the booklet, bring it to the center. And if that's, if I need to make it tighter, all I have to do is pull and push the button down. If I need it looser, I can just loosen up and let that button come up. And so then you just tie it however snug you want it. Like I've got the purple or the blue one right here, because I'm gonna have a wonderful, I forgot I had it right here, blended on the table. Look at this, guys. I love this button. It's an anchor. Does that make you think of a pea coat? Remember pea coats? Michigan people, Illinois people, come on, you wore pea coats back in the day. So there, I had pre-measured, it's not too snug. And then you can do a double knot up here. And once you do have it the way you like it, you can leave those long or trim them a smidge, trim them a lot, whatever works for you. And I do like the buttons, but I did find once upon a time, and I haven't found them since, so I probably shouldn't say it because now you'll go nuts trying to find them like I am. They actually make a flat scrunchie. Hang on, I forgot to get it. Ta-da! Now this is November, December, we're doing accordion books. This is an accordion book with a handmade paper I made, embroidery floss, and a button. But that doesn't close it. I could bring elastic around that and let that be the closure, but I didn't like going over this like I thought I might. But look, I found flat scrunchies. Aren't they wonderful? They only have 2 left and they're not going anywhere. They gave away the others. Ah, I love that. Tells me, oh, we're good, we're good. But see, this accordion book, I sketch in at the lake. So I did that little wreath, I did that little flower. Of course, I'm at the lake, so I thought I need to fill this up. I haven't finished it. There's that little dude. Oh, I like wreaths in these guys. Probably because it takes 2 pages. But here is our book of the day: signature, tags, closure. Now, even if you don't have your buttons and elastic, etc., now worry not. You can actually use paper. If all you have is paper, it's a good thing. Let me get different colors. Let's use this. I know it's not what I'm really going to use. And let me cut it. Now, if you have ribbon, because you're going to put ribbon on your cards, of course, you can just use ribbon and tie it. I did that with this big accordion book. This was so much fun because this big accordion book, there just wasn't any way I was getting it with elastic. This is 26 pages. Yeah, if you want to see what's inside for fun, you gotta come back in November, December. But you can use paper. You can use paper. And so all you have to do is take your paper, fold it over. I didn't cut this long enough. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh, no, I did. Of course, then you would glue it or tape it neatly. I think that I shall bend the seams a smidge. I'm going to put just a little 1/8 quarter-inch allowance here. Take that across from here. That will sit much neater. There, yeah, see how that looks? That's good. Then go to this side, do the same thing. So cut it up there. This is kind of like a band, I guess you would call it. Yeah. And if you had stickers, I have some really cool Team DPF stickers, likes on them. So you could glue or tape that together, and then you have a band that can slide on and off to close your little bucket. So typically, when I'm decorating, now that it's made, right, everything's made and prepared. I have my signature in. I have my button go. I have my button closure. I have my 4 tags. Now, the next part can take anywhere from an hour to 10. I mean, it just depends on how much time I want to put into these. It can be as simple. I'm going to just make this super simple for fun. So because I'm going black and white, I got out my black and white pens earlier. So I have this one, it's a combo. And so I've got a plain end, this is a dual. So I got a plain and I got a brush. And that's really fun for cleaning. And then I've got some microns here. There's a variety of brands, but you can see the numbers. Yeah. 005, 01, 02, 03, 05, 08. This is the first grouping. That's the thickness of the pen. So it would look like this, depending on what I want to write. So there's my 005. Here's my 01. And we're talking minuscule differences from one to one. This is 20 millimeters. This is, should be 25. Yep, 25 millimeters. The 02 is 30, isn't it? Yep, 30. A little bit bigger. So often I use 3 pens, like 005, 02, and 05, just to have a mini, thick and a really thick, but none of these are super thick. There's 10s, there's 12s, but you can see just by having a set. This is just a set. Now, guys, I don't know about you, I'm not the coupon queen, but let me tell you, I don't buy these things regular price because they're nuts. But you can get coupons. Michael's often it's half price, 40% off or whatever. It's all good stuff. So having these thicknesses, I can now play. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and use my words from earlier. So I am going to, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, let's use my haiku. Where's my haiku brush? There. So I'm going to use the 5. And if it's sun and I'm doing black and white, I'm going to draw my sun from up over the horizon. I'm going to go with simple, childlike, not childish, childlike. And then I'm going to go with a thicker one. The thickest is going to be on this guy. I will ask friends for quotations, poems, scriptures, favorite words, whatever they want to give me, and then I will make a envelope book of tags for them. So if I was going to put lovely sun to see. Okay. Then my next tag, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. I could find some simple black and white for green oak leaves bend with the wind. Oh gosh, there's no wind right now. It stopped. Weird, but I can see the leaves well. So these are these leaves. Well, not quite like that, but it's fun. Go this way, and I'm going to put green And I would be neater and I would definitely spend more time. I'm giving you an idea. That's what we do. Green oak leaves bend with the wind. Etc. So I could do my 4 tags or do my 3 tags for my haiku, and then the 4th tag could be where I want them perhaps to write a poem of their own or a haiku of their own on these pages, or I could fill these pages. I've actually used one of these, and I've used an accordion book to create a letter for someone. And I'm going to come off share screen.
Lorraine, I want to thank you so much. This was my first joy break, and I actually feel very joy filled. I'm with Polly. Can we have that laugh recorded so I can take it with me every day? I love it.
You
We're
guys are sweet.
grateful to have this opportunity to share the joy breaks with you and with our community and everyone who joined us. Thank you so much for being here today. And remember that we will send the recordings out in about a week. And in September, as a reminder, as Lorraine shared with us, we'll be doing mindful drawing during our joy break. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. Take care and bye, everyone.
Bye.